What is going on? We have some breaking news, and it's unfortunate, sad news. A semi-decent sized theme park has officially announced that it's closing forever. And I'm going to also share with you guys 5 other parks that I'm pretty concerned about as far as the future goes going forward. This is Theme Park Brandon. I'm glad you're here. This is a breaking news video. So, the park is let's see. I don't even know. Like, I know the name, but I want to make sure it got the whole. It's Wild Waves Theme and Water Park, located just outside of Seattle, Washington. It's been in operation since 1977, and it has 4 coasters. It looks like 1 kiddie coaster, 1 thrill coaster, and 2 extreme coasters. The most notable ride here is Timberhawk Ride of Prey, which is an S&S, decent-looking wooden coaster. And then that was last added in 2003. And then Wild Thing, which is an aero corkscrew coaster. So before we get into anything else, do I think any of these rides will get relocated? No, unfortunately not. The company that owns this park and operates it, at least, is Premier Parks. They own 4 parks as well. And those are Elitch's Gardens, Magic Springs, Pacific Park, and Wild Waves Theme Park, obviously. So, let's get into what the press release says here. And again, I hate this stuff. I really, really do, just because it just really is unfortunate. But it says here, Wild Waves Theme Park announces final season of operation in 2026. The park will open as planned on May 23rd, 2026, and close to the public on November 1st, 2026. They go on to say, we are thankful for our guests, team members, and the community of Federal Way for supporting Wild Waves and creating so many thrills and great memories with families and friends, said Karen Burke. That name should sound familiar to a lot of us, which is the president and owner of Premier Parks. Then she goes on to say, unfortunately, the rising cost of ongoing operations since the reopening after the COVID-19 shutdown, thanks COVID, has generated millions in losses, which forces us to discontinue operations at the end of the 2026 season. Obviously, COVID was bad for all of us. We lost family members, friends, businesses closed up, so it's just rather unfortunate. Wild Waves is operated by Premier Parks, and then it's interesting because it's headquartered in Oklahoma City, which obviously Frontier City is not in Oklahoma. That's in Oklahoma City, but Premier Parks do not own that park, which is kind of interesting here. It says Wild Waves employs approximately 35 full-time and 800 seasonal team members. And then, despite the forthcoming closure, Wild Waves plans to deliver a full and vibrant 2026 season. And then it says here, it doesn't really go on to say why. I mean, why they're doing it is the expenses, yes. But plans for the site are currently in preliminary stages, with goals beneficial to the city and surrounding areas. Additional details would be released as the project moves forward through the planning and community review process. So I spent a long day. So we do know there's 2 things. One, they're going to blame the COVID thing on it. It's everything costs more, which I totally get. Employees pay cost a lot more. Hourly wages skyrocketed the last 5 years. Inflation and all of our lives have been, impacted by the cost of living and everything else going up in price. So I totally understand that. It is a little interesting to me that they are deciding to do this because there's no other park in the Seattle area. You're talking millions and millions of people within, a couple hours drive away from this place, and they're just going to pull the plug on it. That's rather unfortunate. They don't really see much investment to this park. I think the water park actually got some more investment than the theme park has over the years. But in the end of it, there's no airtime at this park hardly. That S&S wooden coaster looks decent, but I've heard from multiple people it's just kind of a dud. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to wear this shirt there, obviously. But it is rather unfortunate. I hate to see any park close. It doesn't matter where it's at, how big, how small. I do not think this will be the only park closure we're going to hear about in the next couple years. Now, before I share those 5 parks, check out themeparkbrandon.com for all my merch and posters, as well as theme park guides and so much more. And you can save 10% off with the code in the description of this video. I really do appreciate all the support. Now, as for the 5 parks that I think have a legit shot at possibly closing down forever, and it pains me to talk about this stuff because I hate to see it, but one of them is a park within this company already, and that is Elitch's Gardens, which is located in Denver, Colorado. Now, lately there's been some news that the park plans to stay and they're going to redevelop the area around it and stuff, which sounds great and all, but how true is that? There's always been rumors about this park closing down forever. If you don't know, check it out on the Google Maps. It's located right in the center of downtown Denver, Colorado. It's pretty crazy, actually. I've never been to that park, unfortunately. I would love to. But the next one is a park that has really troubled history and kind of lack of attractions, more removals than newer rides, and that is La Ronde, which is located in Montreal, Canada. And this park is kind of like Elitch's Gardens, very uniquely placed on a giant island in the middle of the river in downtown Montreal. This park, I do not see it being a Six Flags park for much longer. I think once that comes, they would sell the land for something else, or hopefully a different theme park operator would pick it up. But I am very concerned with the future of La Ronde, 100%. Now, the next one is, let me find my notes here, Rye Playland, which is located just north of New York City. This park, I've never been to this park yet. I need to get out more, apparently. But this park has some smaller rides, a really good wooden coaster. I can't think of the name of it right now. But this has always been in the rumor mill about the park closing down forever, which would suck. Tom Hanks, Big, I think it is Big. Yeah, I think it's Big. The movie, great movie, classic, that was filmed partially at this park. So I would love to see this park stick around just because of the history and everything else. But it's one of those parks that I'm kind of circling as to what's the future hold for it and how much longer will it be able to stay afloat. I mean, it really is unfortunate. It really is. Now, the last one is kind of shocking, but kind of not. But this one is, I don't think, I could see this park closing in a couple years. Sadly, it really has never even gotten off to a good start, even though they just added a really good RMC single roller coaster, but that is the Lost Island. And just because they spent the money on this coaster does not guarantee the park's going to stick around for a couple more years. I think this is the final straw for them before they throw in the white flag. Sad thing is, this park is really, really nice. If you've never been, get out there. Again, I've never been there. I need to go. But they have the awesome Intamin hydraulic launch coaster, a very crappy Vekoma SLC that is sure to give you 5 headaches once you ride it. But the dark ride is phenomenal. A great log flume as well. And then you have this awesome looking RMC single roller coaster. But I just don't see how this park, I mean, there's no one coming to this park when it's open. It's crazy. Their operating calendar is very, very short anyways. I am nervous about this for sure. And finally, the last park, it's kind of shocking, but I think it's Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I have an eye on this park. I was going to go with St. Louis, but I just feel like California's Great America potentially could close. What I could see happening is that is obviously the better overall park. It costs a lot less money to maintain than Discovery Kingdom. So maybe there is some way that Six Flags could renegotiate the lease or somehow get the land back and then possibly shut down Discovery Kingdom because unfortunately the animals are a big expense for that park, and that park is landlocked, and it's just a not the best of areas from what I've been told. So I can see that park kind of going in the route of maybe the Six Flags Corporation would shift the way they're thinking and closing down that park opposed to California's Great America. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with these. Again, I hope all 5 of these parks I mentioned does not get sold off. I hope they all stick around forever. I'm just here to break the news about Wild Waves. That's really unfortunate. I've never been in that park. I've always been, intrigued by that wooden coaster, But there's no parks out in the Northeast hardly. It's crazy. It's kind of sad, really. And so I'm glad I'm not located up there for those reasons. It's beautiful country, but I'm a theme park guy. I need air time in my DNA pretty much every single day. Plus, I need sunshine. So with that said, what's your thoughts regarding this news? And what other parks do you think out there could possibly close? You know what to do. And check out themeparkbrandon.com for all my merch. I really do appreciate all the support. And thank you guys. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.